Hi everybody. It's week 1 of self-sheltering or isolation, and I thought I would share some of my ongoing activity of painting as a way of staying in touch with friends and neighbors and other artists. This is what I'm working on right now, and while I'm working I have a little bit of Judy Garland playing in the background on YouTube, which is very nice. Yesterday while I was working I was able to have the Broadway and Metropolitan Opera because they started to share a number of things for the people that are self-containing. So I've started doing this drawing of my tulips, and I'm just going to do a little bit of drawing so you can see what I do. I've done a few tulips. I don't do a great deal of detail or a lot of shading, and I don't use a stub in order to blend the shading, because with watercolor I don't want to make a lot of mess under the watercolor, because whatever pencil that you put down you can't erase afterward once the watercolor's gone over it. So this is a very nice little vase, and I'm just going to indicate a little bit some of the marks of the vase. I'm not an expert on glass, so I'm not going to overdo it on the glass side. Like some people are really terrific at doing glass. I've got a little bit of parchment paper here that's used in cooking for making some baked goods, and it's very useful to either use wax paper, but parchment paper is better, so that you don't take the oils of your hand and mess up. I'm going to do this flower right here right now, and I've scoped out some of the flowers. These are tulips that I bought a week ago, and I'm lucky that they're still in pretty good shape. I wanted to wait a while when I bought them because they hadn't opened yet. So now that they're open, though, I've only got a few days before they start to die. I can see this one's already wrinkling up a little bit, so I realized I'd better hurry up and get going with this. And I love the way that the tulips the petals fold over each other and gradually open up. So, and then like this petal here, it's comes over, and it's coming over the ones underneath. But since it's separated a little bit, there's some shadow below the petal. You see that? And this little petal here has some shadow from the one above. So there's a little bit of shadow. I see some artists hold their pencil very far back. I seem to need a little more control, and also my hands shake a little bit because I'm in my 70s now. So where this is curving around, it's separating from the petals below. There's a little bit of shadow on the petals below. This one also is curving away. It's a little bit of shadow on the petals below. So I'm just drawing this, and it doesn't have to be exact. No flower is the same as other flowers. So as long as you get the main items of the vein in the middle of each petal, and some sense, and the tulips have this wonderful little tip at the end, and so you get some idea of how it's shaped and how each petal folds over the others. Here, this is curving on, I'm working on this one here, and it's curving. There's a little shadow there, and it's coming up and over the petals below. So there's a little bit of shadow below. So the main thing in drawing is to get a sense of the outline and a sense of where there's some shadows. So you're just basically trying to capture the light and the shadows. And then if you get that straight, you see this little, there's a little petal up there, and again, it's got some crevices, and it's curving around the ones below. So there's some shadow below that. Nothing exact. And then there's the ones inside. And there are several petals inside folding over each other. And since I'll still be able to look at this while I'm painting, and also I'll take some good photographs of it in this light so I can remember the same light, because in a couple of hours the light will be different. So there you see, there's some indication of light and shadow. I've got a few more to do. I'm going to do one here, but let me do a leaf for you. There's a typical leaf. The tulip leaf is a very interesting straight leaf, but it curves around, and when it does, there are different shadows like this for how it has curved. You see? So I just want to capture that a little bit. There's another one here behind, and that one behind has folded around the center vein. So there's some shadow again along the center. Here it's folded. There's some shadow on the back. And up here it often twists around. There's some more, a little bit of shadow there. So this is just to indicate the leaves. And here's another one. Again, in this crevice here, where the leaf has curved around. There's some shadow. And that's enough for now. The important thing about the tulip is that the stem is surprisingly thin. It's not a fat stem for such a fat flower. So you can see just how narrow. And then there's always a little shadow under the flower for the stem. So that's an indication of how this will go. These flowers behind will just be indicated, and they'll be lighter and with less detail. I'll put a few more leaves in here, and that I'll I've already worked a while on this, and maybe I'll put in just a few more lines, not very much, just to indicate this vase. And that is the drawing for today. I hope that you found this interesting, and it's one way for us to stay in touch a little bit and connect while we are isolated in our separate spaces. Take care. Bye.